Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown,
the unofficial sumo podcast
for official sumo fans.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown. This is Jake.
This is Max. Sorry, Jake. I'm just excited.
You know, we've done a bunch of these. I feel like you should understand your place by now.
No, I'm always excited. You know this.
Today, we are joined by a man so badass he has his own nickname tattooed on his arms. The Samoan Bulldozer, Rob Fuimaono. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So first question for you. You were just in Hawaii, but you're from KC.
Yeah.
Where's the best barbecue you've ever had?
Ooh.
I'd still say Casey.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I love Hawaiian barbecue. I love Korean barbecue. But I mean, actually, hold on. Sorry. I'm gonna actually have to say Japanese barbecue because when I went to Japan, man, that Japanese barbecue, like, oh my gosh, like they marinate their meats for so long, and it was just the best ever, man. They couldn't bring the meat fast enough. That was the craziest thing.
Yeah.
They were doing real good, like, because it was a time thing. It's like a 90-minute thing over there. And so, like, the first 45 minutes, they're, like, bringing it fast. We're, like, 5 orders of this, 4 orders of that. They actually had a really big – it was me, Kenneth Heffernan, Roy Sims. It was, like, the whole lineup was over there, and it was the world team, basically. We had the girls over there, too, Takeshi. It was everyone. And, yeah, like I said, they were bringing it real fast at first, and then, like, we, like, tell them 5 orders more of this, and then, like, that person would leave, and they wouldn't come back, and we're like, oh, man, what's going on? So we end up asking the waiter, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll go get it. And then that person would finally bring some food, but it would never be, like, 5 orders. It would be, like, 1 or 2 orders.
Well, they're trying to stay in business.
I was about to say, did they go bankrupt after they fed you guys?
Oh, man, I got stories for days about making people go bankrupt off of my eating, man. It was I got this tater tot eating story, man. I ended a tater tot eating competition, man. Like, it was the 10th annual tater tot eating competition when I went there, and then they didn't hold it no more because
there was no 11.
I abused the tater tot. Like, they said it was all you can eat for a year, and I was like, you shouldn't have said all you can eat. I was like, all I can eat is a lot. Like, I mean,
oh my God. Yeah, that's there was when we were in Vegas, there was one spot that we walked by called the Heart Attack Grill, I think it was, where it said over 350 pounds eats free or something like that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I've been there a couple times.
Yeah. I should have known you'd know better than me the best spots for that.
Oh, yeah. I love that place. It's not necessarily free. So when you order the meal, you have to, like, order a drink with it, and the drink is what costs the money. It's only like $2, but then you get, like, the $15 meal for free, basically. So it's like, it's a little, still pay a little bit of money, but it was still really fun and, like, pretty cheap on a big guy's salary, like, to pay $2 for a whole meal. I mean,
that's a good gimmick, but I suppose they couldn't make it all the way free because then there wouldn't be they'd follow in the footsteps of the tater tot contest.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you, so the contest was, like, to eat as many tater tots as you could in 3.5 minutes. And so, like, you had to just eat them real fast, and, like, you know, you eat popcorn when you grab a big handful and you're like,
oh yeah.
Like, and so that's literally what I did with the tater tots. I just grabbed
jeez.
And I started eating them like that. They weighed out the baskets of tater tots beforehand. They were 3 pounds each. I was almost finished with the second basket by the time they were done with the 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I had eaten like 5 pounds in 3 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh my God.
Is this?
They were supposed to have a national competition and everything, and they never called me back for it.
Well, shit, wow. Don't tell that guy where to go.
Oh, man. It was nice, though. It didn't cost... They literally came... It wasn't my fault, okay? They came up to me. I was doing Pokemon Go with my kids at a Sprint store, and they're just walking up in the shopping district area, like, anybody want to do a tater tot eating contest or come watch? And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, how much does it cost to enter? They're like, oh, it's free. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I was like, what do you win if you win? They're like, a year's supply of all you can eat tater tots and $100 gift card. I was like, I'm there. Like,
Oh no.
They were never heard from
They had
again.
no idea what they were getting in for.
actually closed down now.
Oh, gee. I was about to ask, like, is that same place still in business?
Oh, my
Oh, no,
God.
I don't think they are.
Oh, that's hilarious.
No,
All right,
because
so-
every day I'd go and probably get like 10 pounds of tater tots for them for like 5 days a week for like the rest of the
Oh,
week.
God, Robert's back.
Like 50 pounds a week, bro.
Oh man.
Tots.
So now we're gonna have to come up with another nickname for you to get tattooed on your arms, along with Samoan Bulldozer. But
Well,
yeah,
see,
I guess
I need to know where the Samoan Bulldozer has come from.
I was gonna say we could talk about sumo wrestling, but that's the one that I had been meaning to ask you. How'd you get that nickname, and what made you decide to get it tattooed on you and everything?
It was actually in high school when I was like 15 or 16 years old. I was like a sophomore in high school, and I'd come off the line so hard, they'd end up triple teaming me. They'd have the center and both guards come all on me at one time.
Oh, you were
And
a football
I
defensive
know.
line?
I do I was the nose tackle, and I do this motion right here.
Yep. That's. So I know football, so yes.
I blow all three of them up at the same time, and then their fullback would come at me, and I'd just blow him up right too. Like I'd basically like blow everybody up in my way, and they were like, I didn't slow down at all. They're like, he's like a Samoan Bulldozer. It was one of the announcers actually. And so,
Nice.
then I was like, they named me, so I just put it on there. I was like 16 when I got this. It was crazy.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, no
Mhm.
kidding. But it translates very well into sumo wrestling for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so I guess that kind of answered my next one. Football, that's where you got your main athletic start.
Yep.
Gotcha. When did that transition into sumo wrestling?
About 2016, I'd say. I had just been sitting around watching YouTube, and all of a sudden I was watching some of the pro sumo, and on the next video, I always goes to the next one or whatnot. It was like 2014 US Sumo Open, and I was like, oh, US Sumo Open, and I was like, that's curious. So I ended up checking it out, and they had that whole display about what sumo was and all the different people that were there, and Biamba, Soslan, and the winning techniques. It was a lot of fun. And then seeing Roy Sims, how he was one of the guys that were from the country and just played football or whatnot, and he was doing really well. And so I was like, man, I think I could probably beat those guys. I was like, man, I think I could beat those guys. And I mean, I didn't want to seem like, it's just like the competitive mentality. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like they were slouches or anything, because they definitely weren't. Like when I saw Roy at the national competition in 2018, he gave me the business.
He's no slouch.
Yeah, you come in there, you're like, this guy doesn't even have his name tattooed on his arms or anything. I bet I can get him.
Yeah, man. I think I got Roy right out of his bronze medal stuff, man. Yeah, first match with him, he just gave me a push to the face and then a yank down, and I just went straight down. And I was like, oh man, the worst way to lose is like
the pull down.
Yeah, it's like the worst way. It's like, you didn't have your balance to like, catch yourself. What are you doing? Like, so yeah, that's probably like the worst way I would want to lose. I don't want to lose any other way probably, besides like getting pulled down or like just stepping my foot out the ring. I mean, if you put me out the ring, that's one thing, but if I'm just like angling my foot or something on top of the tawari, then
Yeah, no, an inadvertent step out. Oh no, those are the worst.
Oh
So
yeah.
you mentioned Roy. Roy has just recently become your official teammate on the World Games team this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I know he's got like a training camp later. yeah,
Yep.
if anybody's interested in that, I mean, I'm sure we can reach out. We can hook you up, see if that's something that people want to go train at. But yeah, so you trained with a lot of the other guys on the team. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that recent trip to Hawaii, where you went and you trained with guys for like a couple weeks, right?
Oh yeah, it was awesome. I went out to Hawaii. I probably trained about 3 days a week out of the 3 weeks that I was out there. I was going for the last 3 days, but I ended up catching a wave that hurt my shoulder or whatnot, so I wasn't able to do the full training on those last two. But it's better to heal up. Like I tell everyone, if you get injured or whatnot, don't like just try to tough it out or try to push through it, because it's gonna end up making your healing time way longer in the end. So might as well start now. So,
Were you trying to sumo a wave? I thought you were going over there to train with actual Hawaiians, man. Not the Hawaiian waves.
oh yeah, I mean I did. I mean hitting Henry is like a wave of Hawaii.
That is true.
And it was when I first got there to hit Henry. Henry was giving me the business too. Like for a while, I was like, oh man, I can't beat him. It was a bummer for a minute, and then like finally got over the hump. Like I have a lot of pride. Like usually I don't. It's like a big man pride, like to out muscle somebody basically. So like, I always come forward with my stuff, and especially usually like the first win that I try to get on somebody is usually like a dominance win or something like that. But I got to get out of my head with certain things like that, because it can lead me to get myself in precarious situations that I don't want to be in.
Sure. Yeah, against a guy right like Henry, one of the only guys that can outsize you. I imagine you kind of have to be more creative than normal.
Oh yeah, so I mean, I for sure have to be underneath Henry. There ain't no slack on being able to be the high guy.
No way.
Yeah, if Henry gets underneath me and then he pulls you in, it's almost a guaranteed. You're going out. Like he's just moving with you at that point. So
yeah, and this is Henry, the guy who oh, never mind. You only took 2 losses at the North American Championships in Vegas. One of them was to McKinney in the heavyweight, but Henry Faleofa was the only guy after that was able to take you out of the ring. And he's, let's see. So you guys are 1 and 2 on the World Games team, right? Henry's first, and you're the second.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's really awesome that you guys have the opportunity to train together. Even that's that's gonna be great for us as a team.
He's got a lot of experienced people out there and stuff, people to help train. Like it isn't just Wayne Vieira over there. There's other pro sumo guys. Like Hawaii is well known for pro sumo guys. Like Mr. John Jocks told me that he's sent like 27 guys to pro sumo from over there, and
that's awesome.
So it's like there's definitely a lot more names and a lot more people that have gone pro from over there, that some of them are still over there. Some of them are like helping, pass on knowledge out there at practice. They'll come to practice and just sit and watch and give little tips and tricks and stuff like that. It really is a welcoming and like a big learning environment over there as far as sumo or whatnot.
Yeah. No, that's really great. I love seeing all the pictures. Obviously, I wish I was also in Hawaii, but
totally.
You got a little vacation out of it though too, didn't you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I got to see pretty much the whole island, and even Mr. Jacks showed me a lot of it. He showed me the Dole Plantation and a lot of the west side of the island, and then my family showed me a lot of the east side of the island. It was all a lot of fun.
Gotcha.
I got really lucky out there with all the friends and family and whatnot.
Yeah, that's awesome. What else are you working on in the meantime here? Because we got nationals coming up, and I hear that shoulder hit you took. You're thinking you're gonna be okay for nationals?
Oh yeah, they said I checked and made sure there's nothing broken. They said it's just soft tissue damage. So I'm going to the pool and doing like pool therapy and different stuff like that to get myself 100% back in shape. I messed up. I tweaked my knee a little bit the second time I hiked up Cocoa Head. I don't know if you guys saw that, the little mountain or whatever that I climbed. Yeah, it's on Facebook. It's like I think it's like a 1,000-foot elevation climb or something like that. There was a lot of stairs. It's like a railroad tracks that go up the mountain. It was pretty nice, but it was tiring. It took like first time it took like an hour and 15 minutes, and then the second time I knew I could get up it, so there was no rush. So I ended up taking like 2 hours and 15 minutes. I was like, oh man, I'm just gonna take a break every couple steps. Like it's just
Yeah.
at a certain point, man, it literally gets almost like climbing a ladder. It's like just so high, so much as a high step and just straight up. Like it's crazy.
Now, how would that? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say you're giving me flashbacks, Robert. One of the other things I saw you post on Instagram was your stair workout.
Yep, I was just about to say, how does that compare to your Stairway to Hell workout that you post?
Actually, that one's a little bit tougher because like it's a longer workout. Like so, when you're going up that stairway up Cocoa Head, you can't. I mean, you could turn around and go back down, but it's you're gonna feel like less of a man. I feel like
Yeah.
Hit it where it hurts.
This far, and I feel like I got a long way to go, but I definitely came a pretty far distance, I think. And so you're gonna keep on going and keep on going. And what's cool about Cocoa Head is it's like sloped to where it's like it's almost like this. So it's like when you think that you're at the top, there's still some
just another little hump. Like,
Just,
nope, you're not
right
there
over
yet.
the horizon. Nope, never mind. Keep going.
Straight up. I was like, oh, we're almost there. I was like, I said it a couple times, like to myself. I was like, I'm like halfway now. By the time I got up the mountain, I was like, there's no way I could have been halfway back.
Yeah.
You lied to me.
That stairway workout though, I did want to ask a little bit about that one. So if you haven't seen or heard about this one, this is one that Robert posted on Instagram a little ways back. You get all the way down into a sumo squat, like your butt almost touching the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And you hold that position, and then you go up a flight of stairs, and then back down in the same position. I honestly, it was like it looked tough, but I was like, that's interesting. I should try it out. So I did it on my basement stairs. I did like up and down. It's only like 10 and 12 steps or something. And then I needed to lie down. Like,
Yep.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is that something you came up with on your own, or you hear about that somewhere else?
Yeah, that was just one of the ones I came up with on my own. I always just seen people come up with new workouts for different sports and stuff, and I was like, I saw the Suriashi, so I try to put the Suriashi in with that.
Yep.
That's why I'm like moving up and then moving down with it. So I wanted to increase it a little bit and get more of strength workout out of it or whatnot, not just the normal strengthening that you would get out of it. Just add a little extra. To me, that helps with the explosion and different stuff. Like I like that one because once you do that so many times and you stay in that deep squat the whole time that you're climbing the stairs and whatnot, it really does make you feel like you had an entire leg day's workout just within like, I don't know, however many sets you could honestly do. Like your legs will be dead at the end of it. I've had people say that they have a hard time walking.
I can't imagine why.
I can only speak to my own experience, but like, up 12, down 12, maybe a second. I think my best one, I think I did like 4 reps, and like while I'm doing it, it's like, yeah, this feels good. I'm getting stretched out. I'm getting a little bit of a workout. And then as soon as I stop and I stand back up, I can't breathe for like 10 minutes. Like, oh my God, that sucks.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well. But yeah, you mentioned Suriashi. Do you watch like pro sumo for training techniques, for just for like researching tape? Do you follow the pro sport?
I don't follow it like in depth. I never was one to like watch like sports. I was always one to be in them because like if I'm watching it, I'm gonna be like wanting to compare myself to it, and then I'll be like, oh man, I want to be in it. It's like,
right.
I don't want to sit here and watch. It's kind of like how we were back in the day, like when someone would be like, oh, you can watch me play my video game, or you can like play with me. I'm like,
play with me.
Yeah, I don't want to watch you play, man. Like that sounds like no fun, but I guess
Give me a controller. Let's go.
Yeah.
people turn it into a thing these days, though. Like people watch people play all the time now. I'm just like, oh, wow.
Hey, for me, I'm not doing the sumo, so whether I'm watching it or I'm watching a video game, I don't do either one of them that much. So I might as well watch somebody else do it. But
What's that say about us, Jake?
it says a lot, I think. It says a lot. But no, that's interesting that so I guess my next question then, if you don't necessarily follow the sport, what is your training like? What kind of stuff do you do to study beyond just like, the strength workouts and stuff like that?
Well, actually, I trained with Andre Coleman at first, and he had trained in Japan for a little bit. He was running the club out here at first, so I took a lot of the workouts that he showed me with the Siriashi and all the different tempo strikes and all the different stuff like that or whatnot. But then I also I went to Japan myself as well back in 2019, so I took some of their training that I learned from them. I try to keep to traditional, but like not be closed-minded about taking other avenues or whatnot as well.
Sure.
So when you went to Japan, did you go to did you train at a university or with Takeshi, or who did you train with?
I trained at Nichidai.
Very cool. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was nice. Me and Cornelius Booker were out there training and whatnot.
Gotcha. Yeah, we've talked to him before. He's got plenty of stories of traveling and training with everybody he can as well.
Yeah.
Do you guys do you have a club still in KC? I mean, I guess I didn't know that you guys had an organization there. Is it mainly you now?
It's me and Brandon Alexander. I got like a couple of my brothers, and then I got a couple other sumo guys. We don't have a place to practice at right now because like they all want us to like, you have to sign up with the city and like sell it basically. Like they want to, it's like I don't want to sell it like to people. I just like, is there any way we could use your mat and like pay for like the mat time or something? But we're having a harder time with that right now. But we usually just practice in my living room. I got a decent sized living room, so I just make sure I don't throw anybody through the walls or do.
Yeah. Oh man, or through the floor, I imagine, depending on who's the one.
Okay, we got Oshidashi, guys. No Oshidashi. No, let's keep the throws to a minimum, and we'll be okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's finally warming up enough out here in the Midwest that you guys, I imagine, you transition to like a backyard or a beach or something like that. Usually.
Yeah, I want to go to a park. I really would like to build a dojo, to be honest. Like, just get some good dirt and good stuff, and just try to pound it out and try to get some good sand and kind of like do it like they did over in Hawaii. I think theirs was the closest I've ever felt to a traditional dojo. It was pounded to the right consistency and everything. Like, so like the backyard dojos that a lot of people have are cool, but like your feet should not give out underneath, like the dirt should not give out underneath your feet. And that's what I found with a lot of the backyard ones, is that like your feet end up digging into the dirt and stuff like that. And that really doesn't happen in pro sumo if you've ever seen it. Just your feet slide, but they will never dig into the dirt.
Right, the clay.
Yeah, and so that's exactly how theirs was over there in Hawaii. It never really, nothing underneath broke down. So it was really nice. And we had to go get some special sand because we tried the wrong sand at first, and Mr. Jack's like, we got a lesson on why not, because the first day of practice we ended up getting like scraped up pretty good because we used the wrong sand. It was too like had shards in it basically.
Too coarse.
Yeah.
Oof.
We got some more fine sand and smooth like a pebble basically, and yeah, never had that problem again.
Yeah. How does that compare to like the normal, like the amateur competitions over here where you got basically athletic mats?
They're completely different. Because you have a lot more plant on those athletic mats, unless you like get caught in like a sweat pile or a sweat puddle or whatnot from someone like me that's sweating a bunch in the match. you're it's you like I said, you plant a lot more in that one. There's not as much give or sliding that I would say in the real competition or rings.
I gotcha.
Now, you've fought guys from all over. You've gone to the different tournaments. Is there a favorite? Do you have a favorite guy that you love to square off against?
It was, to be honest, it was Roy. Like Roy was my rival for the longest because for the longest, no one, like for 2018 and 2019, I didn't feel like I had too much competition. There wasn't like too many up and comers at the time or whatnot. I think Jose just got into it like 2019 or something like that. And he hadn't gone to like the national tournament till 2020. But like, I just didn't feel like I had any other competition besides Roy. Me and Roy were always pushing each other. I hadn't lost any matches at the nationals besides to Roy. And then I ended up losing one to Ken Heffernan as well. He got me on a deep belt. He sucked me in, got me around, pulled me in real tight, and then ended up getting me pressed back against the edge of the ring and pushing me out.
Gotcha. Yeah, I suppose Jose was the guy who got you at nationals last year. So looking to get that win back, I imagine.
Oh yeah. That was a tough nationals for me. I was having a hard time keeping it together. My sister, it was her birthday that weekend. My sister passed away last year in April, and like it was just her birthday that weekend. It was pretty tough. Like I tried to like use some of the stuff that like happened like to like give me energy or like get me upset or get me worked up, but ended up like doing like the complete opposite. I was like not in my head for like a lot of the tournament. So I was like, oh man, that's why I didn't like do the rest of the open weight tournament because I was just like, I came down here and I like hanging out with all my sumo buddies and sumo friends and stuff like that. It really helps take the edge off and have fun with everybody and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah, I know that makes sense. If it's not your day, you don't need to risk it anymore, right?
Yeah.
Just take it easy and get the hanging out done. But you were absolutely on your game in Vegas.
Yes.
And I mean, you say it's an off day, but I'm looking back at the record. You beat Gil, you beat Mark Jones, Theodore Mitchell, and Kyle Ferreter.
How is that an off day?
I mean, I get it. Your standards are pretty high, but that's still a pretty solid run.
All right. Yeah. I don't know. To me, I felt like I've had I felt like I got something back in Hawaii that I didn't have for a long time. Like I kind of got in my head about scenarios and situations and stuff like that. But when I first started sumo, like I didn't really know who anybody was or like how good anybody was because like I wasn't familiar with like who they were, what tournaments they've been to, where they train. And so that really helps in the fact that you don't build people up in your head. And so like I've done a thing. It's kind of like what Cornelius does too. We build other people up and we give other people a lot of respect, but we don't give ourselves enough respect. And so it's like we end up making these people such big things, but you know, they're really right down here. You just like have to realize it mentally or whatnot.
Sure. Yeah,
unless you're talking about Henry, then Henry towers over everybody and
literally, yeah, but I know what you mean.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, like for the longest, like I think it was like for the whole first week, like I couldn't get a win on Henry. And then like I started like maybe getting like to maybe 50-50 or like 60-40 Henry or something like that. Like started turning the tables more to where like you got to think about the matches more and different stuff like that. And so I know that really helped him and it helped me both because having someone to compete against that size, there are going to be people at the World Games like the Georgia country or whatever.
Yep.
They're known for having real big dudes come to the world tournaments and the World Games. So especially like 600-pound guys just like Henry. So to be able to, you know, get my reps in and get practice against someone that size, it's really nice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think sorry in advance to Mark. I'm going to bring him up again, but I was texting him the other day, Mark Jones.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned like you don't want to build the other guy up too much because you want to make sure that you're on, you're confident in yourself that you're on their level. That chain keeps going because I was talking to Mark and he said like you're the guy that he's chasing.
Oh,
and, and I'm sure there's somebody that looks at Mark as like that's the next guy that that's the guy that's up on this higher level that I got to get up to and all that. And I think it's great that especially after 2020 and 2021, now that we can travel and see each other more and get the reps in against other guys, I think it's really cool how much people build each other up and just look forward to trying to get that win back the next time.
It leads to great competitions and everybody keeps improving. That's ultimately what we love seeing the most is everybody keeps improving, styles of sumo keep evolving, and the sport keeps growing. It's phenomenal.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
as long as people get out there and practicing, I think it'll keep evolving and getting better for sure.
Yeah, so as somebody like we've talked to a lot of people that have just gotten into this in the last year or two here, but as one of the veterans, I guess, on the scene these days, how do you see the sport progressing? Like, what are the things you see that are the biggest changes from like when you got started, for example?
Just the overall number of clubs and the amount of people in the clubs, to be honest, because a lot of the times it was a lot harder to find people to join the clubs. I mean, Andre was trying to do it up here for a long time. He had a judo club. He was trying to recruit from the judo club too. I mean, he had a whole bunch of different avenues that he would invite people. And then I know a lot of sumo guys know this, but like you'll have people be like, "Oh yeah, we'll come out," and then like come that day, you're like, "Oh, where you at, man? Like, are you coming?" And they were like, "Oh, something came up," and
Yeah,
it's always something until you can get them out there. And then usually when you get them out there, it's like either they're really gonna love it or they're gonna be like, it's probably not for me. Like it's one or the other. It's usually not like a middle ground or whatnot.
Sure.
Everything or nothing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man. Well, I think we should call it there for the day. I think we're kind of running over on our time slot, but really appreciate you joining us, Robert. So if somebody's around KC and wants to get in touch with you, wants to try it out, see if it is for them or not.
Get run over by the Samoan Bulldozer. If you will.
Yeah, just take a few licks, see if it's a sport they want to keep going at. How can they reach out to you?
They can reach out to my phone number, 816-606-4350, or just my email, my first and last name @gmail.com.
I'll make sure those are in the episode description if somebody's just listening here and wants to check it out.
Right
and
on.
Also, I do got to say, you're only one state away. And I've always said I've got an open challenge for somebody who wants to come and dethrone me as the greatest sumo wrestler in East Des Moines. But I don't know, man. So far you've chickened out.
I think I got a guy that actually came from Des Moines, Iowa, to come sumo with me. His name's Kyle.
Oh,
Wait,
well,
what?
it sounds like he's a coward too if he hasn't come to challenge me.
Oh yeah, he drives down from up there. I was like, that was one of the most dedicated guys I ever had for sumo. I was like, man, he drives so far to come down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, hey, you'll have to hook him up with us or something like that. We'd love to meet somebody. And hey, what is KC, like 3 hours from here? Well, I don't know, whatever. We'll have to come down and get thrown around by you someday or something like that. But
Sounds good. You guys better be ready to eat. That's what I know.
Oh,
Everyone-
heck yes.
maybe
just
we
as long
take
as-
our licks before the food, but but I'm up for both.
No salted milk. No, none of that. I don't want any more of that.
We'll work up an appetite, but just be ready to gain 5 or 10 pounds. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
Sounds good to me. Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks so much, Robert. We'll see you at Nationals, and of course, everybody also keep in mind the World Games are coming up in July. Robert will be there as part of the men's heavyweight delegation from the U.S. And keep an eye out for everybody else on the team. We're going to be trying to reach out to as many as we can.
And for those of you that don't know, it is July 9th and 10th for the sumo competition.
Thank you.
All right.
Awesome. Thanks again, Robert. It's been a blast.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Until next time,
Throw your salt high.
and keep moving forward.